Hey, welcome everyone. So in this video we're going to implement a room database, and here I have a simple e-commerce application where I have a list of products, and the goal of this video is to save these products in the database. So whenever I click this icon here, so the heart icon, I want to save these products in the database. If you have any questions or comments about the implementation of this video, just leave a comment and I'll make sure to reply. I have here wishlist database repository, which right now is empty, but this is already being used by the view model because what we want to focus in this video is implementing the database. So let's do it. So the first step is, well, you have to import room database in your project. Check the documentations and make sure that you're using the latest version. The second step is that you have to create entities. So an entity is just like a table in a normal database, right? So here we want to save a favorite product or like a wish list product. Let's call it just favorite product. So let's create a class called favorite product entity. Whenever you're creating an entity, you have to annotate that with a special annotation, which is called entity. That way you're going to tell room that you have to create a database for that. So this is also a data class. And to make this video simple, let's just put two fields, the product ID and the title. So let's call it product, let's just call it ID and a title, both are string. And you also have to create a special annotation to inform that the ID is the primary key. So you can do that by using this annotation, primary key, and the same for the column. You also need a special annotation called column info. So here we have a table that is called favorite product entity, and we have two columns, ID and title. Now that we have the entity, we need a way to access that information. And the way we do that with Room is by using a DAO, or data access object. So let's create that. Let's create a Kotlin class, but this time this is going to be an interface. Yeah, wishlist DAO. And again, you have to annotate this with DAO. So you're telling Room that this is going to be the DAO of your application. And I basically need three methods: one to insert a product, one to remove a product, and another one to check if the product is a favorite or not. So let's start with the insert, which is the easiest one. So we need a special annotation that is called insert. So let's call it insert all. It means that you can add one or more products, and this is going to be products, and this product is product entity. Now let's do the delete. The delete is also very easy. All you have to do is use this annotation delete, and then you have to pass what is the product you want to delete. So favorite entity. And now we need a method to get all the favorite products that match a given ID. So let's call it get favorite products. So fun get favorite product. And this is going to need a product ID. And this is going to be different because this time we're going to use a query. So if you have worked with database before, you probably know how to do it. So this is a select everything from, and then here you can pass the name of your entity, which is favorite product entity, where ID like product ID. So very simple. This is a query, and here they automatically match the name of your entity, which is here. And since this is a select, this can return a list of course, favorite product entity. So very simple. I have an insert, I have a delete, and I have a get favorite products. And the third step is to define the database itself. So let's create the database. Let's call it app database. And this is going to be an abstract class because room is going to implement some code based on the information that you pass here. So it has to extend from room database. And here we also have to define this annotation called database, which is going to tell what is the version of our database. And we also have to define what are the entities that this database has. In this case, we just have one entity, which is the favorite product. So favorite product entity class. When you do that, Room is going to generate some code that is going to create a database with this. And now we have to define a way for the database to access the DAO that we have just created. So again, abstract func get wish list DAO. And this is going to return our wishlist DAO. And now that we have everything ready for our database, all you have to do is use it. And the way that you can use the database is through the DAO. So let's pass the DAO here as a dependency for the database repository, wishlist DAO. And then we can access it. For example, is favorite. We have a method, get favorite. And here I need a product ID, is not empty. What I have to do here is my DAO again, dot insert all, and I have to create a favorite product entity. And again, to remove, all I have to do is call the delete method. Here I can create a new favorite product entity because since the ID is the same, Room will be able to find this product. So product ID and the title. Okay, so now everything's ready. Let's just run our application and see if it works. And now, depending on which dependency injection library that you're using, you have to provide that in a different way. So let's just provide all the dependencies that we need. So now let's test the results. I'm gonna click the second product and I'm gonna click the third product. So now we have the second and the third in the wish list. I'm gonna close the app and I'm gonna open it again, and it have to be there. Okay, so the second and the third. So as you can see, using Room database in our project is quite simple. There are basically 3 steps you have to do. First, you have to define your entities or your tables. Second, you have to define the DAO, the data access objects. And the last step is just define the database, the version, and all the entities that you're gonna use. And after that, all you have to do is just use the database by accessing the DAO. And that's it, quite simple. So if this video was useful for you, please hit the like button because that helps a lot. And also, if you have questions or any comments about the implementation that I made, just leave in the comments. I'll definitely check it out.